Hey everyone, welcome back to Interface Insight. I'm Ishika and this is season 2, episode 11. Today we are talking about restaurants management app UI UX design at scale. And honestly, it's about something that happens to almost every growing business, but nobody really talks about it until it becomes a crisis. These are the tools that worked fine when you were small and they stop working once you get big. And usually nobody notices until things are already messy. Let me show you exactly what that looks like using a real example. So imagine a company that runs over 400 restaurants, not one brand, four different brands, each with completely different rules for how things should be done. And it's not even one country. Operations are split across two countries in different time zones. Now, here's the question: how's the leadership of that company know what's happening across all 400 locations right now today? For most companies at this size, the honest answer is they don't know. Not really. They wait for someone to send a report. They follow up over email. By the time the information reaches them, it's already old. Why does this happen? Because the business grew, but the way they were tracking things, spreadsheet, email chains never grew with it. What worked for 10 restaurants completely break down at 400. Now, this wasn't just one problem, it was actually three separate problems happening at the same time. Let me explain each one simply. Problem number one: different people need different things. Think about who's actually using a tool like this. You have got restaurant staff working during a busy shift. They need something quick, simple, and no time to figure things out. Then you have got area managers who are in charge of multiple restaurants. They need to see the status of all their locations at a glance. And then you have got senior leadership who need to see the entire company's performance across both countries without waiting for anyone. Three completely different jobs, three completely different needs. If you give all of them the exact same screen, none of them are actually happy with it. Problem 2: four brands for four set of rules. KFC, Taco Bell, Burger King, Starbucks, each one has its own way of doing daily checklists, compliance checks, and opening procedures. So the challenges becomes, how do you build one single system that can handle four different ways of working without confusing everyone or building four separate apps? Problem number 3: no single source of truth. Data was scattered everywhere: spreadsheets here, emails there, random tools in between. So, even if the information existed somewhere, finding it quickly was the real struggle. So, how do you actually design something for this? The starting point is not what should the screen look like. The starting point is simpler question: who needs to see what, and when do you need to see it? Once you answer that, the design follows naturally. Restaurant staff get a simple fast screen built just for their shift. Area managers get a view built for tracking multiple locations. Leadership gets a real time, big picture view of the whole business. Same app, but each person only sees what's actually relevant to their job. And for four different brands, instead of building four separate systems, you build one shared foundation underneath and then let each brand plug in its own specific rules on top of it. So it feels consistent, but it still respects that KFC and Starbucks don't run the same way. Here's the real point of the episode: this kind of problem doesn't just happen to restaurant chains, it happens to any business that grows past the size where everyone just knows what's going on. At some point, spreadsheets and email stop being enough, and most leaders don't notice. because it happens slowly, not all at once. So, here's a simple question worth asking yourself. Are the tools your team uses today actually built for the size your business is now? Or are you still running a bigger business on tools that were designed for a much smaller one? That gap is usually invisible until it starts costing you time and costing you good decisions. And that's it for today's episode for Interface Insights. If you want to see exactly how a project like this comes together, from talking to actual users to designing role based screens to the final product, we have put together a full case study on our website. I'll drop that link in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care, everyone.